Hello, I am coming to you live from a hotel in Los Angeles. Now, I realize that there's a lot of background noise. I can't stop it. I'm in Los Angeles. It's a huge city, a lot of shit going on. So I realize this probably sounds like I'm coming from the boiler room from some old power plant that Freddy Krueger lives in. For all you embryos out there, Freddy Krueger is the character from Nightmare on Elm Street, a movie that basically ended my childhood. Effectively, I saw it in the 80s, and essentially I've never been the same. So I'm here to talk to you about Janky Uger. This guy. Now this picture has been unearthed, and it comes from 1991. Now this is the article he wrote about how the Armenian genocide never happened. Oh, it's a historical situation. It's not a genocide. I mean, what is a genocide after all? How You Like Me Now, Baby. He looks like Eddie Murphy's character from Bowfinger. He's got the braces, he's got that awkward everything about him is awkward. He looks like a fucking turtle. A man turtle. And as usual, even back then, look at the neck. It is a flesh volcano emanating from his fat torso. Fat brown torso. Look at the hair. What a pubic afterthought that is. The glasses, that huge nose. Wow. And it's amazing. This is me in 1991. Okay, that's my girlfriend filming me. Keyword in that sentence, girlfriend. These are the two guys. So when you listen to me and Cenk, know that that's him in 1991, this is me in 1991. Now, people don't change. Okay, I lost some hair, he gained some fat, we are the same people. This guy has quadrupled down on something that was so cringe-tastically awful the first time I heard it. The fourth time I'm hearing about it, I don't even know what to do. So here's what I'm doing. I'm making a video to process my cringe. During their 3-hour conversation, Sam Harris made an off-the-cuff joking remark about how Mormons are more outrageous and insane than regular Christians. Because not only do they believe all the Christian stuff, they have their own idiotic, very specific ideas that they believe on top of it. And he's saying that in terms of probability, the chances that Mormonism is true, from top to bottom, is even more remote than the Christians. Now, Cenk could not understand this, still doesn't understand this, and I find it stupefying. Watch this original conversation, and then we will add to it. Please enjoy.
Atheism is fairly unique. Most of the other religions are bathed in blood. And so...
To varying degrees, which is important.
Right. So that's point one. Point two, the point that you were alluding to, what I said about Mormons is, there we might have disagreement. So you say Mormons are slightly more absurd than Christians, right? Because you say you take all the absurdity of Christianity and then you add on top of it further absurdity that Jesus is going to come to Missouri, etc. Right. I think those are really good points, but to me, that's the difference between 2 + 2 = 5 or 2 + 2 = 6. Neither one is true, so what difference does it make?
Janky poop, here's the difference. Your analogy is shit. First of all, you're talking to the emperor of analogies. Don't try to analogize an analogist. Listen, what's the difference? The difference between 2 + 2 = 5 and 2 + 2 = 6, in the context of what we are talking about, which is the fact that Islam and Muslim beliefs are different, or worse in the real world than every other religious belief. The difference is, it would be like saying 2 + 2 = 5. Yes, that's wrong. Here's another belief. 2 + 2 = 6. Also, I need to kill you now. Both are wrong, but one is way more dangerous. One has a real-world impact. The fact that both are wrong is utterly unimportant. You have missed the point entirely. You, Cenk, your brown people, your heritage, your father, your grandmother, come from a death cult that is hideous and is the worst of them all. Your people are the 2 + 2 = 6, now I must kill you group. Buddhists are the 2 + 2 = 7, now I must meditate group. Do you understand that the fact that both of them have picked the wrong answer and their beliefs are false is not of any significance right now, because we are talking about violence and the way that these awful ideas actually manifest in reality.
Well, no, this is actually, this is a cute statement, and I think nothing hinges on it, but it's actually a mathematically precise statement. If you think Jesus is going to come back, that's one order of improbability. If you think Jesus is going to come back to Jackson County, Missouri, that actually increases the unlikelihood or decreases the likelihood.
I mean, if we're talking about math, Sam, it's
mathematics.
like dividing by zero.
No,
It's
is not
equally unlikely that he's going to go to Jerusalem or Missouri. He ain't coming.
No.
The whole thing's like.
This is embarrassing. This is a brilliant guy sitting down and explaining to this fat offensive lineman a concept that is so painfully obvious. I mean, this is borderline Sam is teaching him how to use Velcro. That's what we're watching right now. So what did Sam just say? Plain as day. He said, Cenk, the probability of Jesus coming back is one thing. When you add the specificity that he's coming back to Missouri, that adds a degree of unlikelihood to the claim. How can you not understand that? Now, Cenk, as usual, will now strawman Sam Harris and suggest that Sam Harris just said the probability of Jesus coming back to Jerusalem is somehow larger than it is that he comes back to Jacksonville, Missouri. Sam Harris did not say Jerusalem. Sam Harris is talking about him coming back, period, versus him coming back to one specific city. You dumb whale. How could you not see that? Why are you forcing me to explain that to you in front of thousands of people? Why? Why is it that nobody on your staff explained this to you? Fucking Prometheus Maximus could have looked at this video and said, Dad, you're being a fucking bloated buffoon right now. Sam didn't say that. Sam's not comparing the likelihood of Jesus' return to Jerusalem versus Missouri. The point he's making is Jesus' return, period, versus his return to one place. Dumb bitch. Watch him do this.
Like, is Zeus more likely to come to Missouri or to Athens?
Did you see him try to do another analogy? So he just made up the Jerusalem. That's Cenk's thing. Cenk is arguing with nobody. Cenk is arguing with a theoretical person who said that it's more likely that Jesus will return to Jerusalem than to Missouri. That guy doesn't exist. And then he talks about Zeus. What's more likely, Zeus returns to Athens or Missouri? Let me jump on board your little statement there, Cenk. It would be like him saying the likelihood that Zeus returns at all is very small. The likelihood that Zeus returns to one particular city is even smaller. This is a embarrassingly simple thing to grasp. Embarrassing.
It's the specifics that make it less probable. If you just think he's going to come back somewhere, that's one thing. If you think he's going to come back to Jackson County, Missouri, that's less likely. And that is a mathematically true point. This is just probability theory.
Even if I were to grant you that, which I definitely do not grant you, but even if I were to grant you that...
You're going to hear from a bunch of mathematicians who are going to insist that you grant that.
Okay, that's fine, and I look forward.
How could Sam have explained that to him any clearer? I mean, this is on video. Do you guys realize he's watched this back? Okay, now just try to wrap your head around this. So after this, in the following week, Cenk goes on to do an after show with Anna fucking Big Nose Kasparian. And he doubles down. Watch this.
I would actually, in that light, I would say I'm more of an atheist than, for example, Sam Harris, because in that debate that I had, discussion that I had with Sam Harris, he says the Mormons are more wrong than the traditional Christians. Because they say Jesus is going to come back to Missouri, which is more ridiculous than Jesus coming back to Jerusalem. No, it is equally ridiculous.
Once again, Cenk is such a bloated echo chamber fuck. Once again, this fat brown jowl monster says that Sam Harris is talking about Jerusalem.
You what, mate? You fucking what?
Ironic. Maybe he sees a Jew in front of him, he thinks Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Cenk, he's not saying that it's more likely that Jesus returns to Jerusalem. He's talking about his return versus his return to a specific city. Now, keep in mind, Sam saying this was just a light-hearted joke, apropos of nothing. But watch the stubborn idiocy of Cenk. Cenk still mischaracterizes and completely whiffs on everything that Sam said to him. Still does not get it. And he goes on air and thinks he's making a point. He's thinking, I got a one-up on Sam here. I'm in the right. I'm going to expose the moronic nature of Sam Harris. And I can beat my big fat brown chest. Tit boy.
If you think Jesus is going to come back, that's one order of improbability. If you think Jesus is going to come back to Jackson County, Missouri, that actually increases the unlikelihood or decreases the likelihood.
If we're talking about
straight
math, Sam, it's
mathematics.
like dividing by zero.
No,
It's
is not
equally unlikely that he's going to go to Jerusalem or Missouri. He ain't coming.
If you believe, it's the specifics that make it less probable. If you just think he's going to come back somewhere, that's one thing. If you think he's going to come back to Jackson County, Missouri, that's less likely, and that is a mathematically true point. This is just probability theory.
Even if I were to grant you that, which I definitely do not grant you, but even if I were to grant you that,
you're going to hear from a bunch of mathematicians who are going to insist that you grant that.
Okay, that's fine, and I look forward to that, and hopefully we'll get 75 pages on that. Sam, what difference does it make? Both of them are totally untrue. Totally untrue. Nobody talked to the Smith. Nobody talked to Jesus of Nazareth. It's made up.
I only made that point in the context of saying that you can say objectively true things about differences among religions, and even say objectively true things about the likelihood that any one is true. Now,
you are giving credence to the old mythology if you say it is more likely to happen in Jerusalem.
Both of them are totally untrue. Totally untrue.
It is not more likely. It has a 0% chance of Jesus coming back to Jerusalem.
Yes.
Okay, so I am the more pure atheist in that sense. I don't give credence to any of the religions.
Now, here's where he's a fucking moron. Now, watch this Inception bullshit. Now, this guy's talking about there's a 0% chance. If you want to get specific, there isn't a 0% chance. There is a slight chance. Now, this is where we all acknowledge that we are agnostic. We don't know everything. Jesus could come back. Now, look, the man never existed. He's not coming back, and it's 99.999. But for you, this moron who has called himself an agnostic for years on end, to be like, I'm more of an atheist than Sam Harris because I'm here to definitively say that it's a 0% chance. It's his dumbfounded dogmatism. What a fucking clown that he would say there's a 0% chance of this and that. And look at me, aren't I the best atheist in the world for saying that? Atheists don't say there's a 0% chance that there's a God. Because we're normal, we're sane. We realize that we don't know everything and that there is a microscopic chance of anything happening. There's a microscopic chance that you will have a neck at some point in your life.
Both of them are totally untrue. Totally untrue.
See, what he wants to do here, the reason he keeps going back to this they're not true thing, look at how absurd the situation is. You have this fat fuck telling Sam Harris, of all people, the founder, one of the founders of the new atheist movement, a world-renowned atheist, telling him that these religious claims are not true. Thanks, Cenk. I think Sam is aware of that. But the reason Cenk does it is because he wants to equate every religion. He doesn't want to talk about the differences between the religions and the consequences of the varying beliefs between these religions. So yeah, some religions force people to meditate and not kill anybody. And other religions force people to go out and actively seek out people to kill. Oh yeah, that is a major difference. I don't really want to talk about that. I want to talk about the fact that they are both untrue. So if Islam is untrue, it's just as untrue as Judaism and Hinduism and Christianity, then they're all the same, aren't they? Because they're all false, equally false. So now I've just squished the entire thing, haven't I? I've plumped my fat brown ass on it, and now everybody's equal. So how dare you highlight or talk about one religion, Islam, above the others, when they're all equally untrue? You motherfucking bigot. That's what he's trying to do right now. And it didn't work. Nice try, Cenk.